So I was just thinking about past relationships and just kind of scenarios that I feel like other people have gone through. Share from my perspective, while hopefully keeping it general. It's about how. Okay, I'll speak. I have to speak for my story anyway. Wishing people in my life the best all my life. You know, like that kind of almost like Tinkerbell, or just this wanting people to be happy and wanting people to be in love. And I can trace that back to childhood. I used to want to be a matchmaker. Like I just loved couples. I loved seeing people together and happy, and seeing people that I thought would be a good match. You know, like and beyond that, it ended up going beyond that at certain parts of my life where it was. Let me see. Gotta be careful. Okay, so it ended up being like individuals. So I'm talking about not a little bit, I'm always talking about my spiritual path and my choice of love and to explore God is love at age 16. And in my 20s for 7 years, I practiced agape love. I was celibate. So the majority of my life, all of my life has been dedicated to a spiritual path, but the majority of my life, I would say the past 30 years consciously, has been a conscious spiritual path. It's very rewarding. I would just say that. It's very rewarding. But I was just thinking about how I'm kind of not saying, because these things are hard to talk about and deal with, but like when people, I realize now, post 2020, 2021 is when I realized that the people that I've been sharing my life with, from family and friends and even the person that I was in love with, didn't value me and didn't wish the best for me. There was jealousy about my happiness and about my talents and my gifts, which are God-given and God-protected. And I do my part by protecting myself, having boundaries about who was in my life now, and that started in 2021, where I had to let a lot of people go, or people faded from my life for many reasons. Some people passed on. Some people just couldn't get part of my life. Like I was having insights where I knew that people were talking about me behind my back. I didn't ever really think about it before. Okay, so I was so happy. I was in such a high vibe, and that's spiritual ascension. It's just a different vibration of love, or consciousness awareness. That's what ascension is. Just a different consciousness, a different perspective, a different awareness. And they're, people can look at it a lot of different ways. I look at it a lot of different ways, but that's what I mean when I say ascension. In this case, a higher perspective, because I was in such a high love vibration, a self-love vibration. Because at that time, this is early 2020, I realized that I was responsible for my love in the way that I loved everybody. I loved the whole world. I just wanted people to be happy and free from suffering and at peace and at ease, and obviously that's what I want for myself. And so I just had to start realizing that the people who want for me in any capacity, if they're jealous of my art, if they're jealous of my lifestyle, if they're jealous of my potential, that's understandable, and that also can be inspiring. And I was wishing the best for everyone. I was praying every day for people to have what they wanted, what their highest thoughts were. And if certain people in my life were thinking not great things about me, I was still wishing my manifestation, my love, my magic, my God-given talent and gifts were going towards that. It was a blind love. And I'm not, I sound upset, My upsetness comes from not knowing that I was being so undervalued or taken advantage of or talked about like a dog, or worse than a dog, because dogs are awesome and loyal, and some people had dogs and cats and treated them better than, so that happens though. But I didn't deserve to be, one of the issues is talked about so badly that people who I didn't even know had a bad opinion of me because of things that a family member had said or a friend had said. So you know how people can introduce you to people without you even knowing it. Most times it's good, or I thought, so I think, and that's reputation. This is what I'm talking about. It's reputation. And it is in the Ten Commandments, there's that whole part about, I guess I equate some people try to assassinate people's character, and the only thing that I have going for me or had going for me is that I wasn't aware. But when I became aware in 2020 and 2021, it hurt. And as sweet as I've been my whole life, and as sincere as I've been my whole life, I didn't know that people thought I was faking it. Try faking it for a month, and your whole life will change, and your heart will open, and you're like, try faking gratitude for a month, saying your gratitude. Like you can't fake goodness. You can't fake intention to be of service to God and God's will, and to love, and to harmony, and to peace, and to purpose, and to love of family, and to love of future generations. At the time when I was a teenager and I was talking to my family about it, I would say 7 generations, that I was working with 7 generations. Everything that I've said to the people that I shared 40 years with, some 3 years, some 10 years, some 20 years, some 2 years, but I always been honest about who I am. And I thought I was accepted because I accepted everybody. I thought because I was in their presence and that I was allowed to be in their presence, because at that point, the last 5 years, I've been praying to God about having, people of my same heart resonance, and also healing and ending my life. When I say life, I mean certain cycles of life. Life is ongoing, it's eternal. So I was talking about starting anew, right? And that's what I've done. And in the midst of starting anew, I've had to heal all this pain and realizations and acceptance that sometimes people just aren't good for you or good for me. Sometimes there are people, no matter how much we love each other, and the love is real, and this Endojé, this divine love unites us, it's real, it's forever. Because every moment that I was with the people that I was with, I was loving them, and it was conscious, it was on purpose. I listened, I was present. I knew when people were like thinking that I wasn't doing enough, or that I was naive, or that I was confused, or that I was sick, or that I was delusional, dreaming too big, like just not in reality, not really understanding that we create our own reality. And they would always say that. I have people who live that. Oh, you can do anything, you can achieve anything that you believe. I believe in real peace, and part of real peace is me being at peace. I'm in the world. And so that's what I realized, in 2021, anybody who wasn't aligned with that, my happiness and my highest happiness could not be in my life, because that's all I wanted for everyone, and that's all I wanted for myself, to just be able to learn and to grow. And then when we make mistakes, to be forgiven, because most things don't need to be held against people if it's possible, because there are certain things that I understand I'm saying in general, like little dumb stuff, like not putting toilet paper in the, like not taking out the trash, or like I don't want to trivialize when people are hurt, but if you know you're gonna forgive, forgive as soon as possible. And if it's something that you don't think you can ever forgive, be compassionate with yourself and go through what you have to go through. Some people won't ever forgive. And the people that I'm talking to, or who are listening to me, have chosen the path of the heart. And in that path, we gotta let go. We gotta let go of things that aren't for us, that aren't for our highest good, our highest love, our high heart. Because, there's a saying that all is love, everything is love, all else is an illusion. That is a viewpoint. So it's a way it's an idea to build off of, it's an idea to play with and to put down and pick up. It's an idea, I think of it as a tool or as a toy. And or something that you could just build with forever. And a lot of the things that I've learned over the years, because I was a curious child, and my whole life this is who I've been. Someone who wanted to learn and who wanted to meet people and go places and just experience things, and share my joy and my love and my passion wherever I am. And it got to a point where I always shared it with myself. I was isolated. I got into a car accident. A car had hit me, and I was increasingly immobile. And I lost a lot of people that year. That was 2018 to 2019. I was out of commission for 18 months. And so, not being able to work, or not being able to have, I didn't have money. People fell off, and also being in pain. I was in the worst pain that I had ever been in. Previous to that, I had been in, I know psychological pain, I know mental pain, emotional pain, but I hadn't experienced all of that alongside physical pain. So it was really, 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 really terrible. And when I was just saying the spiritual pain, mental pain, emotional pain, I can give examples where if someone you love is attacking your mind, or talking about you behind their back, or having secret resentments or jealousy, that is emotional. It gets entangled emotionally. There's an untruth. And if a person is about truth, which I am, and about authenticity, and about kindness and grace, and really not like we are new in every second. There's a quote from a song by Rihanna, but I always think about it, but who am I to hold your past against you? When I meet somebody, I'm meeting them presently, which means that everything that came before me, they've already experienced. That's who I'm meeting. I'm meeting the accumulation of experience. So if I'm looking at somebody from that perspective, I am automatically accepting everything that I will learn in future about them, what they reveal. And the thing is us meeting creates another energy, because we weren't in each other's lives. And so I'm honoring that one-on-one. I'm honoring that, the gift of another person, right? And so I would say that to people. I sent messages, I sent videos, letters, poems. I was expressive to the people that I love. So they are my first loves, even though there was a lot of betrayal. So a lot of the confidence that I have now, and I go out into the world now, is because I know myself. I know who I am. I know how consistent I am. I know how good I am. And I know that this is just the beginning. That it's a, I thought the end of the world happened. 2020 was it. And I feel like maybe it's anything for a lot of people over the next 30 years or 300 years, because this is a transition. I'm thinking, I just turned the corner and I'm on traffic, and I'm on a street that I don't want to be on, so I lost my train of thought. So please forgive me. But obviously, I'm also doing the stream of consciousness thing and just talking as my brain is. Yeah, just thinking out loud, channeling, telling myself a story, telling you all a story, connecting, and hopefully, it's entertaining, or hopefully somebody has gotten insight or a new path of thinking, or a new, or just just lighten up. Because when I'm really stressed out, I'll tell myself that, and myself listens to myself. So even if it feels like a lie, because feelings are not necessarily real, thoughts are not necessarily real. There are underlying truths. So like, even if I don't feel like I'm light, when I say I'm light, part of me and my brain, my body will believe it. I trust myself. So that's what comes out, So and that's how affirmations work. Which many of you all know that. You tell yourself that, and also people call it one of the laws. I don't know if it's manifestation, I don't know if they use that word too, but it's like the repeating of and believing of a saying. And sometimes when you first say it, it's just not, it doesn't feel right, but that's because this new path and this truth and this new life that we're going towards is not the same as what we've been thinking. So of course it feels wrong. Of course the pain or the stagnation or the that's what happens when sometimes people don't forgive themselves or forgive others. That stagnation, it creates nothing. It just creates more of itself. And so when people want to move on and they get new information or a new perspective, or many new perspectives, or just feel love in a different way, or think about life in a different way, or renew their faith in God, or get interested in God, it is sometimes counter to that previous being who first heard the information. I don't know if that confusing or not, but some of us just slide in. Some of us are like, ooh, new, yes, and even if it's, oh my God, what is happening, this is awful, there's still the aspect of, wow, this is going to be different, I'm going to be able to utilize this. It sounds so calculated, but that's what's going on. A lot of times, just me living into my present life, I be like, what? And I also feel very blessed to be conscious. Very blessed to be having been created. I'm grateful, and I carry that energy with me wherever I go. I know that we all matter. That we are all precious and important. Sometimes I'm fascinated by people simply because they are them, but because they're not, like, I know that I'm going to learn something. I know that I'm going to, well, that's not everybody, because I am very particular and private. My soul, my spirit team, my angels, my guides, my higher self, my future person's higher self are very, very protective of me, because I've been through a lot of not goodness. And the love that I carry, my intentions, the years that I have put in beyond these 46 years, right? Because I gave my life to God, all of my life, all of my lifetimes, all of creation. I asked God to use me. I asked God to put me where He needed me to be, and that was a perspective. But that is the ultimate perspective, and I was raised Baptist Christian, so my introduction to God was through Jesus Christ. And, there's a part of the Bible that says, no one can get to the Father but through me. And there's a part of the Bible that says, God gave His only begotten Son, that whoever shall believe in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And that is true. That's the ultimate victory. It's the irredeemable victory. Jesus freed us. Well, that might not be the right word. gave us the opportunity to move beyond what we to reconcile with God and be God's children. I mean, come on now. And it was really simple. Love one another. Love one another, right? And, you know, the Our Father who art in heaven, just like recognize, you know? And so that's part of what I'm doing now, but it's hard to verbalize it. I'm an artist. It's in my work. It's in my words. It's in my vibration. It's in the writing. It's you know, so it's out there. But saying it like this is very. I know it sounds incoherent. That's why other art forms exist. But I'm doing my best. And I kind of consider these, they're love letters, they're faith letters, they're also kind of maybe rough drafts to things about creating future. And it's also just the healing of the throat chakra and being able to self-express and tell my own truth and hopefully encourage people to be able to speak their own truth because it's healing and it's beautiful and it's freeing. And even if you don't speak of it, I know that that's kind of ironic, the experience and the energy of living it is great. So that's my Sun, Taurus, and 12th house speaking. The ability to work and be invisible or private, and then to move on to a spot where I'm at now is to be visible and private. Or visible and private in the sense of what's comfortable for me, because obviously I want to connect. It's just challenging sometimes, so this is a way to go about it. So let's see. So I'm gonna just say thanks for listening. It's a beautiful day. It's gonna be 97 degrees though, and it's like already noon, and I don't really want to be out, but the shade is cool. It's cool. It's not cool in the shade, but it's better in the shade as far as temperature wise. I've had a beautiful morning so far. I got to wake up. I woke up around 5:30, which is used to be my normal time, but the last month, since I've been getting used to being at a new shelter, you know, being off, like, it's the way the sun comes in, it's like a natural light, and so I've been waking up with a light instead of a time. And so today though, I woke up around 5:30, which was nice because that's usually, it was between 4:30 and 5:30 is what I've been waking up for the past year. So I started my yoga back last week, and so it's been a week today, and I started back with 3 sun salutations, 5 sun salutations. Now I'm up to the 10, and I'm adding more stuff in, and I'm taking it easy. But I knew it would be okay to start again, but it's always like, but I always start slow, and that's what I start slow with everything. And so so like even with meditation over the years, I started with I didn't want the person in the video, so I started with 1 minute, then 3 minutes, then 5 minutes, and then now it's just, and so and that's practice. It's just practice. And so I'm kind of repeating myself from other videos that I've said, but it's only because it's sort of, it's storytelling. We always just tell each other stories. That's what we do. We tell each other stories. We tell ourselves stories. And I was telling my friend the other day, I want to tell myself a new story. There's just been, I'm healthier than I've ever been. I have confidence in myself and the ability to make changes in my life. I know that I can do and face anything that's in front of me. I know that I have an abundance of creativity. I know that I see beauty and love in everything, and I'm blessed for that, and I get to share that vision with others. And you know, this week I've been eating less, but I've been dealing with anger. Shoot, so much anger. And now I'm talking to the camera and everything, and it's pain, but I've been angry. And I've been angry. This is a thing. I've been angry because I thought I was doing it for the people in my life. I thought that we were going to reap this bounty together. I thought the people that I've loved over the years, the friendships that I have for decades, I thought that we were on the same mission, that we were making the world a better place and loving each other and encouraging each other. And like, now I know I was projecting all of that, and that's fine, and that's still creation, and I'm glad that I did it. And that's a higher self. That's now that I passed to 2021, I've integrated more of my past lives and my past incarnations, and I have a whole and beyond human, beyond earth. So I have a different view of even the surroundings that I'm in now. I experience life in a very different way. Before that, though, that's where this pain, I'm processing that. I was just loving. I was just, God, be in me, see in me, let me do your will. I have so much love to give. I just want to share, and then God put me places. That's what I asked for. That's who I am, right? And so I think the changing and eating and getting back into the yoga, that's soul, body, mind. I started that when I was in my late teens. There was a book called Yoga, Youth, and Reincarnation by Jess Stern that I read, that one of my mom's sisters had given to me. I guess I'm just thinking, this has just been a long path. I was gonna say I'm tired. I'm not tired. I'm so weary. I know that there's fun coming in future. I know that there's more goodness. I know that there's parties. I know that there's celebrations. I know I can feel that energy. My sadness has just been that I really wanted the people that I was growing with and growing up with in this physical life I wanted us to just rise together. And there's just been that statement in the last 4 years that I've heard, is just that not everybody can go with you. We've all made our choices. And so the thing is like, I don't want to be too dramatic, because the thing is like, I know that everything's going to work out. It's just that we all have our, different vehicles, different speeds, different goals. Sometimes that relationship is really over. We've really, people call it contracts and stuff like that. That might be true. I don't like to think of it that way. But I'm aware of that perspective, right? Because I know God is good. I know everything is good. And I know everything will work out the way it will be. I know that God also said, vengeance is mine. I know that it's none of my business. I know that God's will be done. I know what I want, right? I know what I want. But I also know that there's a bigger picture. There's justice too. I asked for karmic justice, liberty and justice for all, and maybe there are certain things that have to take place to make things fair. And that's in my mind what I said, to make things fair so I can move on. That's the new story, and so I'm healing. I'm still healing. I'm always doing that, and I carry that vibe of healing, and I carry the vibe of being a teacher, and always a student, and always a servant, and a lover of God. All right, peace.